What's up, YouTube families? JT&E Backyard Orchard. Today's video is going to be all about strawberries, thinning them out. They're getting kind of crazy right here next to my blueberries, and then I also got some kind of spread out along my orchard, and then I also have some in this planter box that my brother gave me. I'm going to thin some of those out as well, just to where they're not as crowded. And I also have a coworker that gave me some pots to put some in, and then I gotta give some to I'm gonna give some to my parents as well. But yeah, for my coworker, shout out to Robert. What's up, bud? I know you watch the videos. But yeah, that's in today's video. Alright, so right here, sorry guys, my audio messed up. It's like completely bad. I forgot to turn the microphone towards me, but basically right here, I am talking to you guys about thinning out the strawberries, how they're too close to the blueberries, how I have some strawberries on the plant that need to be harvested. Those are kind of going to be what the strawberries look like, Robert. So if you've seen that, I'll also show that a little bit later in the video. But yeah, so my soil's pretty loose right here in this area, pretty much in my whole orchard. So I'm able to kind of like dig my hands underneath the root ball and pull it out, and they just pop right out. So then after I get that pulled out, I basically start talking to you guys about the runners. Those runners are those long vine looking things, and they run and they start popping up with an extra crown, and that is an extra strawberry. And once that extra strawberry kind of touches the ground in the dirt, it starts to root, and it makes its own plant. And if you don't snip those off, they stay connected and they start rooting into the ground, and it starts taking energy away from the mother plant actually. So you really want to try to get those pruned off as soon as possible. I kind of lagged it in this area, you know, I got sidetracked on doing so many other different things, but it's really good to snip those off before they get rooted. But here we are, we have all these extra strawberry plants, and I have, you know, my coworker, like I said, to give them to, also my parents, so it kind of works out. So right here, I'm just snipping off all those runners and clearing up the root ball a little bit. It kind of looks like there might be two plants right there, but you know, my coworker Robert can figure that part out later. All he has to do is separate it and then you know, plant them out. So right here, I'm just kind of making a hole, putting it in the hole in the pot, covering the root ball with some more soil, and we're good to go. Okay, so if you are trying to make more plants, you do want to let those runners kind of run a little bit. Leave it to like one runner, kind of let it root. You can either put that runner into like a little pot with some soil and have it root itself into the pot, or you can let it root itself into the ground and remove it later. But that's only if you want to make more plants. But if you don't want to make more plants, you really need to snip off those runners, because they do pull energy away from the mother plants, and they won't produce as many flowers or strawberries. If they do produce flowers and they do get pollinated and then they do produce strawberries, the strawberries will be really small. So it's really good to just go ahead and take those off. These strawberry plants will have a mother plant and then it'll do a runner like this. This is another plant. So this came off the mother plant as a runner. It rooted, and then it was already starting to throw off another runner, and it was touching ground, so it started to root. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to give him that one as well. You can use the little snippers, or you can just kind of with your fingernail or your hand just rip it off. As long as you get that little root system going in the dirt, it'll be fine and turn into its own little strawberry plant. Now when you plant in ground or in pots or however you're going to do it, you just want to put to where the crown of that strawberry plant is above ground, because if you plant it too deep in ground or in pots, it will drown. Okay, so basically the rest of the video is just going to be me pulling these out of the ground, repotting them up. I put 2 to 3 plants in some of these little pots depending on how big they were, and I potted them up, and I basically do that throughout the whole orchard. I take them out of the planting boxes. The audio is pretty bad on most of the video, so that's why I'm doing a voiceover, but that's basically all I'm doing, is just pulling them out, taking off those extra runners, any flowers, any strawberries, putting them in the pots, making sure the crowns are above the soil level, and then putting them in there and getting them ready to give to my coworker. And then I'll do the same thing for my parents, and basically it's gonna be the whole video that way. So I'm just gonna kind of fast forward through the parts have bad audio, basically me just thinning out the strawberries and repotting, and where there is good audio, I'll let you guys hear. Hi Robert, these are what your strawberries are gonna look like. Really big, decent sized. That's the Seascape right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and thin the rest of this out off video. That's what they're gonna look like. Alright, so right here is the planter box that my brother gave me. Got some strawberries on there right now. This one's really ready. I'm not sure which kind these are. My brother didn't remember. This is the Seascape. Kind of look very similar. I mean, all strawberries do, but the size-wise makes me think it's Seascape. The Seascape always has a really good size strawberry. There's also another one that I have. I can't remember the name right now, but when I figure it out, I'll put it in video. But those strawberries are really good. Alright, so I'm just going to thin this out. Thin the rest of these out. Over there as well. And I'll show you the end result. Alright, so I'm pretty just gonna do that the rest of the way. I don't want this video to get stretched out too long just from me thinning out strawberries. I'll show you an end result at the end of the video, but that'll be pretty much it for thinning the strawberries out this year. So if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you get the next video when it comes out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Go ahead and boom that button.